Hi everybody, it's Saltash Maths Tutor, and I'm going to be doing 3 videos which are going to be looking at long division. Each one is a video on its own. This particular video is going to be looking at the subject, the problem of long division. Okay, the one thing I'll say about this is that there are some little things that you might want to do when you're doing any long division problem, and we're going to go to my first example, and you can see here that I've got 16 into 2320, which looks a bit daunting, doesn't it? But don't worry everybody, it is not. The two identically, the question is put up in 2 columns here. I'm going to work this one and this one at the same time. You'll see the 2 methods. You'll see they're sort of the same, but with any long division, and you can have a look at the other videos too, it's really what works for you, what suits you is a very important thing. Now the first thing I'm going to do is it's the whole multiples of 16, you know, rather than trying to work it out when I'm in the depths of the problem. I'm actually going to set myself up just a little memory table if you want. And in fact I'll put that down here. Let's try it down here. Okay, so 1 times 16 is 16. 2 times 16, well that's 32. Now you might have to go 16 times 2. 2 6s are 12, carry 1. 1 times 2 is 2, add the 1 is 32. If you have to do that, then invest the time in getting this little memory table thing done. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to move it to about there-ish in the middle so we can use it for both. Now, and there's some little tricks in doing this anyway, but 3 times 16. You might end up just doing a table like this, by the way, because it is only a memory thing. It's not necessary. You know, it's not something that's going to get marked. It's only to remind you of what's going on. But 3 times 16, well, that's 48. 4 times 16, everybody, is just 2 times 2. So 4 times 16 has got to be 64. And 5 times 16 is 80, because 10 times 16 is 160, so 5 times 16 has got to be 80. Okay, well I'll put, I'll tidy this all up for us. And so let's get into the problem itself. Now another big issue here is how do you look at this number? Well, I always think of it like this. That actually I'm only dealing with the first number. That's the number that I'm looking at. Does 16 go into 2? Well, the answer is no, it doesn't. Now I can either leave it or I can put a naught up the top here. So I'll put a naught on this side and on this side I'll just leave it as if I haven't put a naught up. Now what I do is I start looking at, you can see my hand appearing, but it'll help out here. Now I just consider the next 2 numbers. So I've done 2, now I'm doing 23. Does 16 go into 23? Well, if I need to, I can come down to my memory helper down here, and yes, 16 does go into 23 once, which is there. Does it go in twice? Well, no it doesn't, because that would be 32. So 16 into 23, that would leave me with remainder, so it would be 16 to 20 is 4, plus the 3 would be 7. So it would give me remainder 7, and it goes in once. Now the way that I'm going to do it on this side is just another method of doing it, and I actually write down what my multiple is. So it's 16 and 1. Draw a line underneath it, and then I do basically I take it away to find the remainder. So 3 take away 6 doesn't work. Borrow 1 from over here, which gives me 13. 13 take away 6 is 7. 1 take away 1 is 0. So I could if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. It keeps it a bit neater. Leave just the 7 there. And then I bring down the 2. And you'll already see that as far as the equation goes, or the sum goes, there's the 72 there and there's the 72 there. We're using the same numbers, it's just shown differently. That's all it is. Okay, then ask myself, how many times does 16 go into 72? Okay, well I'm going to look back down at my table that's down here, and the closest one I've got is there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 times 16. 4 times 16, which is 64. 64 to 72, well 64 to 70 is 6, 6, 7, 8, so it would be remainder 8. On this side, I write the 64 in, which is why this table becomes quite handy, because I just literally take the numbers and put them over here, put my 4 up here, and then I do the calculation. Because 2 doesn't take away from 4, borrow 1 from there. 12 times 8 is 8. That should have been a 6. 6 takes 6 is 0. And again I draw down my 0 from the main number. But again I just highlight, there's the 80. Here's the 80 here, exactly the same thing. And now I do 16 into 80. Well, that's quite handy, it's 5 times. And it goes neatly in. 5 and 5. So the answer is 2320 divided by 16 equals 145. Okay, that's been Saltash Maths Tutor, and that is video number 1 of how to do long division and just 2 little different slight ways of doing it. Got any comments or anything else, then please give me feedback. I'm more than happy to help with any questions you've got about mathematics. See you later.